All right. Good morning. It's a beautiful day here. Well, at least now it's been foggy all morning. The sun decided to show its face. So I was listening. A bunch of people, health specialists, mental health specialists, out of Switzerland, Germany, out of Oslo, Norway. Fascinating. It was a panel. They were all discussing, exchanging ideas and talking about their experiences. I really like that subject. Once upon a time, it was the priests that was in charge of this job. Now it's therapists. Yeah, going to church was a form of therapy. Confessing your sins to the priest was a form of therapy. You were talking about your fears, your anxieties, and all of the other, impulses, lust and anger and violence. People talked about everything, and the priest tried to guide them. We all know this is an inner battle. Yeah, the battle is within. Well, nowadays it's therapists. Therapists are the priests of the atheists. There's no longer churches. No, now you have clinics, facilities. Yeah, you make an appointment and you confess your sins to the therapist. But anyway, there's a wave of new patients. Yeah, they were talking about these new patients. They are coming in hordes. It's like, half of the population, something like that. Half of the active population, not just, they're all grown-ups already. They are looking to get diagnosed with something. Why? Because they want meds. Yeah, they want meds, and they also want status. Because I think it's fashionable nowadays to have a mental disorder. That way, if you make some mistake, you can always blame the disorder. It's an excellent scapegoat. If you enter, a fist fight with someone and you put glasses on, it's gonna, avoid getting hit. That's what it's all about. These made up disorders, these personality disorders. They were talking that in the past, autism was a big thing, They even show pictures, images of people with autism. They couldn't speak. They couldn't hear loud noises. They just put their hands on their ears, They were too sensitive to noise. They couldn't speak. They only hum or whistle. They couldn't think. They couldn't walk straight. It was really, really messy. An autistic person was a crippled person for life that needed help for the rest of their life. Nowadays, everybody is being diagnosed with autism, and there's nothing wrong with them, but it's become fashionable. Antisocial behavior is considered autism nowadays. Why did it come up to this? In the 90s, when you had these billionaires, like the Windows Zero guy, you have these billionaires, they have no, humanity in them. And they figured, if I get you diagnosed with some sort of disorder, you're going to escape some accountability. So they invented these new things. Oh, it's a personality disorder. No, it's just antisocial sociopath, creepy guy. But they invented these disorders, and now it's fashionable. Everybody is running towards these clinics. There's like hundreds of clinics opening every year because there's people just flooding. They get diagnosed, and they said something interesting. Most of the patients, they are reading off a script. They've studied. They planned this ahead, and they just come in and they read and they memorize and they read the script, blah, 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 blah. Once they get diagnosed, they never show up again. What they want is the paper, I don't know, to show it to their boss. Why did you hit that person? Why did you hit that car? Why did you, I don't know, steal something? Why are you so unpleasant? And they show the document. Here it is. I have a personality disorder. Let me be. It's just to deflect accountability. Wow. And of course, pills. Pills, yeah. Gotta do what you gotta do. The industry, they love it. They just want to sell more and more and more. So there's a rise in personality disorders, mental illnesses. Almost everybody is being diagnosed. So who's running society? If everybody's sick, who's running society? Have you looked at society lately? This cult of the personality, this nihilistic, absurd, self obsessed, egomaniac society. We are reaching its peak. People don't even get together anymore or reproduce, or it's over. Of course, governments are going crazy. They only care about numbers, and they are estimating next 20 years there's not going to be anybody left to pay taxes. So that's not a good thing. The whole operation may collapse. So what do? They declare war. It's crazy. Declaring war towards other countries that are like, what's your problem, man? What? They are declaring war. They feel guilty then. Who are they going to arm to fight that war? If there's less than one child per couple, who's going to fight that war? That's a good question. Drones? Machines? These people are delusional. Anyway, atheism is emptiness, even though emptiness, there's no such thing as emptiness, but you know what I mean. Atheism is annihilation. Atheism is a death cult. It's the cult of annihilation, the cult of nothingness. They really believe in nothingness. They seek annihilation and oblivion. Anyway,